All right. Hey, guys, listen, welcome to the Larry Holsey podcast. It's great to have you guys on with me. It's great to see you. Great to be seen. I'm super excited as we're diving deeper into the 17 Principles of Success by Napoleon Hill. As you know, he laid out in many of his works, one of his works being Think and Grow Rich, which is one of his most famous literary works. Also, one of the three books that Jim Rohn, they call Jim Rohn the millionaire maker, and it's one of the three books that he recommended to everybody in every audience he ever talked to. He said, hey, listen, these are the three books that really made a difference for me. So one of them is Think and Grow Rich, which we're talking about now. One is the Bible, and one is The Richest Man in Babylon. Sorry, there my brain went on vacation there for a moment. So anyway, I'm Larry Holsey. I'm excited to be talking with you guys. I love talking about success. I love talking about winning. I love talking about winning in every area because my wife Heather and I, we have 4 kids, and we want to be able to model for them that you can succeed in all areas at the same time, that you can have a great family, that you can have a great marriage, you can have great kids, you can have a great career, you can have a great personal life, great friends, that you really can do it all, okay? And you really can have success in all areas, like whole life success, okay? So we wanted to model that for our kids. That's one of our major motivations to win in life, is to model for our kids what it takes to win and what kind of qualities you need to have to be a winner. And nobody wants to be a loser. I mean, anybody on here want to be a loser? No, you don't want to be a loser. Okay, you want to be a winner. Okay, and winners win. And there are some clues to winning, and some ways to win. And one of them is to have a pleasing personality, and that's what we're going to talk about today. It's the 5th lesson from Napoleon Hill here on how to the 17 principles of success. So how to succeed. Okay. So one of those is to have a pleasing personality. And so I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to talk to you guys more about that. But let's face it, if you have a personality that repels people, then obviously it's going to be hard for you to succeed, because success involves other people. All right. So you can't, it's hard to find like a rich hermit. Okay. You have to have, networks of people. You have to know other people. You have to meet other people. And that's what everything you want is going to be found through other people. So if you want financial success, you're going to need to, if you're selling a product or if you're getting a job, you're going to get that job from a person. Okay, you're going to sell that product to a person or a group of people. And so you need to have the ability to, get along well with others. And so that's super important. So, hey, let me check on my Instagram over here. Thank you guys for getting on. I see we got Nikki Segerstrom. Sorry if I botched your name. Coach Jake, 24 Fit. Lopez Jr., 24. Baby Sella, 13. Let's see here. You Live Healthy. People are coming on like crazy. Anna Grace for Dutton. Nello Raphael YO. Hey, thanks for joining us on Instagram. We are going Instagram live here while we're recording. So if you haven't followed or if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. It's at Larry Holsey. You can subscribe. You can get notified about our podcasts as we post those. We also will be posting on like Apple Music, Spotify, all those things soon. But for now, find us on YouTube for sure, and then we'll be on everywhere you can get your podcasts as well. So that's at Larry Holsey. Okay, so let's talk about, whenever we're talking about developing a pleasing personality, it's really important that you model these behaviors and these attitudes and these concepts at all times. Okay, so because it's just important that you make it a habit. Okay, and we talked about habits last time, which was really good. But let's talk about this. So let's talk about factors of a pleasing personality. Okay, and there's a bunch of them. All right, so I'm going through my workbook here, and there are a bunch of these. So let's just jump right in. Okay, so first factor of a pleasing personality is a positive mental attitude. Okay, and how important it is to have a positive mental attitude. And Napoleon Hill says that a man with a disagreeable mental attitude will disturb the mind of every person with whom he associates. Bro, write that down, okay? So you don't want to have a disagreeable attitude. You want to have an agreeable attitude. You don't want to disagree with everybody about everything. Not everything has to be an argument. You don't always have to win or make somebody wrong or make yourself right or whatever. You don't always have to do that. You can just, if somebody says something you don't agree with, whether it be in politics or because politics gets pretty heated, right? Whether it be in politics or in religion or some of these more heated kind of things, it could just be something in your business where you strongly believe in one way and somebody else strongly believes in another way. Listen, you don't have to argue about everything, okay? You can just let it go. Somebody says, they love Joe Biden or they love Donald Trump, whatever. If you love Joe Biden and they love Donald Trump, just let it go. You don't have to get into a big arm wrestling match, okay? You can just let them have their opinion. That's fine. And you can I've very strongly held views about the direction our country should be going, okay? I've very strongly held views, but I'm not going to argue with somebody over it just because I can get along with somebody. Say I meet somebody on an airplane and they're telling me how much they hate Donald Trump and what a dirtbag he is and how he's the worst thing ever. I personally disagree, but that's okay. I don't have to disagree with them. I can just listen. I can just go along, listen, be agreeable. I'm not going to, don't have to agree with them, but I can still have a pleasing interaction with somebody, even if our views are differently, whether it be on politics or religion or something else that I'll hold very strongly, a strong opinion on. Okay. That's really important to be able to do that. Everything doesn't have to be a fight. Okay. So, all right. So here's what something else that Napoleon Hill said here. He said, when a man with a disagreeable mental attitude walks into a room, every person in the room will become more or less disturbed by his presence, even though he never speaks a word. Bro, if you want to go anywhere in life, that better not be you. You don't want to be the person that walks in and everybody's like, that energy, that person's here. Oh my gosh. You don't want to be that. That's not going to take you where you want to go in life, right? Okay. An equally dynamic situation develops when a man with a pleasing and harmonious attitude enters a room. The atmosphere he creates will be pleasing. Okay. So that's that. All right. So also on mental attitude here, Napoleon says that a negative mental attitude dampens one's enthusiasm, curtails personal initiative, diminishes self-control, subdues the imagination, and destroys the habit of friendly cooperation. Well, sounds like you don't want to have a negative mental attitude, right? Have a positive mental attitude. Look for areas of agreement with people that you may disagree with on some things. Always look for areas of agreement. Look for areas that you can be friends about, that you can connect on, okay? So, all right. So, second point here. Flexibility of the mind. And this is the second factor of a pleasing personality, to be flexibility of the mind. Okay. So, one thing you want to remember is that a positive mind has to always stay under control. Okay. So you want to keep your positive mind, your attitude under control. So, Napoleon says that no one who is lacking in the qualities of flexibility is qualified for leadership in business and industry. Okay, so you got to be flexible. That means whenever you go out and you're talking to people, that agrees, you're going to come in contact with a lot of different kinds of people as you do business, as you grow and you go out into the world. If you're a high school student, a college student, you get out into the world, you're going to be around a lot of different kinds of people with different kinds of upbringings and beliefs and cultures, and you need to be able to have flexibility in interacting with those. Okay. All right. Next, sincerity of purpose. And I'm not going to give you any numbers here because I got a bunch of them and I don't want you guys counting me and seeing if I hit them all. All right. So sincerity of purpose. Okay. Being authentic, in today's language, Napoleon Hill, he was a writer in like the 20s. I think he may have died in the 20s actually. But anyway, regardless, he's old. Okay. This is a long time ago. So, the better language probably for today's modern language would be just authenticity. And when you're coming across as a as your authentic self, as a real, really, really sincere. People feel that. People feel that. They like that. They think it's it just connects, okay? Because whenever you're really speaking from your heart, it just connects with people more, okay? Because people really communicate with feelings. You want to make sure you have authenticity for sure. That doesn't mean you got to be a crybaby, okay? That doesn't mean if I feel like I'm in a, bad mood today, that you just have a bad mood all over everybody. No, you got to have a positive mental attitude. Be authentic within your positive mental attitude, okay? If your attitude sucks, then keep that in the dark, okay? Keep that in the closet. Don't be bringing that out and spewing that on everybody else saying, well, I'm just being authentic. No, don't freaking be authentic that way. That's not what that means. It just means don't be fake, okay? Because you can change your mental attitude by the way you act, all right? If you're feeling kind of down, great. Just kind of pep it up and be like, all right, man, if I had a good attitude, how would I act? And just start acting accordingly, okay? All right, nobody wants to be around your negative attitude. All right, next factor would be promptness of decision. This is probably one of the biggest keys to being successful, is the ability to make decisions quickly, okay? Because so many people are paralyzed by indecision, and they spend so much energy going back and forth on an issue, and they just take too long, okay? So Napoleon wrote here, all successful men, this could be women too, so just keep in mind that's used interchangeably. Don't be getting crazy on me. All right, so all successful men reach decisions quickly, and many become annoyed by those who do not act. That is for sure. If you're somebody who makes decisions slowly and painfully and can't seem to make a decision, nobody who's going places is really going to want to work with you, because we just ain't got time for that. Okay, you got to be able to make decisions quickly, decide what you're going to do. It's yes or it's no, and know that it's not always going to be right. Okay, one of my mentors always told me to shoot for 51% accuracy factor. So if you need to make decisions quick, and know that sometimes you're going to make the wrong decision, and that's okay. But at least you made a decision. So make the decision, go for it. And if you made the wrong one, hey, no problem. Okay. All right. See, a couple more people joined us here. I see Amarillo Massage Therapy. Welcome on to the Instagram Live. Alonzo Sanchez, Jackson Amaro, Nat K97. Thanks for getting on. It's good to see you guys. Appreciate y'all. If you want to give me a comment here or share this, that would be awesome. But I hope you guys get some value out of this. So, all right. So next is common courtesy. Oh my gosh. This is like common sense. Like our world today, how many people don't have any common sense? There's like common sense is not common anymore. And common courtesy is not as common anymore either. And I'm afraid to say it's social media. Some people, you get these keyboard warriors that can just be total buttholes when it comes to when they're behind their keyboard and they're saying things to people that they would never, ever say in person. I hope. Okay, they're saying things that you should just have common courtesy. Just be nice to people. All right? Just be a decent person. Man, geez. Okay, so courtesy is the habit of respecting other people's rights and feelings. Okay? Courtesy is a reflection of the spirit of fellowship without which no one may have dependable friends. And courtesy may serve as an irresistible force with which one may disarm enemies and antagonists. I'll let that sit for a minute. Okay, so courtesy, just be courteous, okay? And man, you could take that to, well, I'm not even going to go there. There's all kinds of places I could go with that. But all right, let's go to the next thing, tactfulness. And guys, as I go through this, keep in mind, I am no expert. Some of these things I've mastered or done okay at. Some of them I'm like, I'm learning just like you guys are by going through this. It really helps me a lot to teach this information, because when you teach something, you get a lot more out of it than the people listening, because now I'm going through these things. I'm looking at like, wow, okay. Common courtesy, I think I'm pretty good. Promptness of decision, I'm really good. Sincerity of purpose, I'm really good. Flexibility, I'm really good. positive mental attitude, I'm usually good. Okay. But then I'm getting to tactfulness. And I'm like, wow, okay. Tactfulness is something I could use some improvement on. Okay. Because sometimes I'm just like straight up tell you how I think, and maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. Okay. In some cases. So tactfulness consists of doing and saying the right thing at the right time. All right. So let's go in. Let's break it down, because I definitely am being challenged by this one and could definitely use some improvement. All right, so ways which some people show the lack of tactfulness. All right, so carelessness, his first one is like hitting me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is me. All right, okay, so it says carelessness in tone of voice. All right, I definitely do that. I definitely show carelessness in my tone of voice sometimes, okay? And I could make the excuse I just have a very strong voice. I have a very, loud voice. I got the radio voice, too. Okay, I got, the late-night radio voice, radio DJ voice. My dad was a DJ in college, so I guess that's where I got the DJ voice. And now I got the microphone, too, so it's just all coming together. But anyway, so carelessness and tone of voice. So sometimes I'll just say what I think, or whether I'm talking to my wife or my kids or my team. And forgive me, guys, if you're watching this, for the times when I've been careless in my tone of voice, where I've just said things in a way where maybe what I said was not bad or not harmful or hurtful or whatever, but the way I said it was a little bit strong, okay, for the situation. And so anyway, so I'm going to have to be more careful with my tone of voice to make sure that I'm taking care of the relationships in my life, the important relationships to me, my wife, my kids, my family, my business associates, my team. I definitely want to always get better in that area, okay? So next, these are things that show lack of tactfulness, okay? So next would be speaking out of turn. Speaking out of turn. Speaking when it's not your turn to be speaking. Okay. Next is interrupting the speech of others. Okay. If you interrupt people, that shows dishonor. That shows that that just shows dishonor. Like you don't do it. Okay. And man, it's a constant battle at our house. We have 4 kids and they all like to talk. And we're always like, hey guys, just stop interrupting. Okay. Let Lawson talk. Lawson, let Emmy talk, let Hattie talk, let Hudson talk. We want to, you need to wait your turn, okay? So you don't want to be interrupting the speech of others. Okay, asking impertinent questions. Okay, have you ever been in a meeting and you're on one train of thought, like the meeting, maybe it's a business meeting and you're on one train of thought, and then somebody asks some stupid off-the-wall question, okay, somebody in the meeting. And they ask some stupid off-the-wall question that takes the conversation in a whole different direction. That is so freaking annoying, okay? You got to know when it's appropriate to ask one of those questions that's going to kind of change the whole subject of the meeting, and you got to just use your common sense there, okay? So you can write it down. You can say, Ellen, I know we need to talk about this. You write it down, and then you bring it up when it's appropriate, okay? So because sometimes things don't get resolved because you keep jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing. All right. So common boastfulness, okay, boasting about yourself, tooting your own horn, can be show a lack of tactfulness. Flaunting the rules of polite society, okay, going where one has not been invited, okay, speaking disparagingly. Try to say that 3 times, of other people. Okay, talking trash on other people. That is just not tactful. That is just not smart, okay? It's not nice. It's not smart. And it's just not a good thing to be involved in, okay? Talking bad about people, all right? Just speak life. Speak uplifting things. Talk about what you like about people. Focus on the things you like. Be a good finder, okay? So, all right. So, let's see. Speaking of people's afflictions in their presence. Okay, so it's like somebody had a stutter, or somebody had a physical limitation or something. They were, in any kind of thing like that. You wouldn't want to like, talk about it and like make it more obvious or whatever. Okay. So he says using profane and offensive language. Oh, what happened here? Okay, cool. All right. So, sorry, I just lost my screen. So I was like, oh no, did I lose my whole thing? Okay. So, using profane and offensive language. Okay. Next would be expressing one's dislikes too freely. So if you're always talking about what you don't like, bro, nobody's going to want to be around you. Okay. So don't do that. Okay. Presuming upon friendship or acquaintanceship, I guess, if you were, well, I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Okay. Neighborhood gossip, making personal calls at inconvenient hours. I guess it'd be like, calling somebody at, 1 a.m. Okay, so next. All right, so that was tactfulness. Tactfulness, something I need to work on. Those are some areas that I'm like, okay, definitely could work on those. All right, next is another thing that I probably need to work on is a pleasing tone of voice. Okay, so just making sure that when I'm speaking to people, I have the right tone of voice at the right time for the right situation. And so what he said here is the person with a pleasing personality knows how to convey his emotions to fit his purpose. By the modification of the tone of his voice, he can express anger, fear, curiosity, contempt, doubt, affection, courage, sincerity, derision, anxiety, and a wide range of emotions by the mere control of his voice. Dude, have control of your voice, okay? Super, super important. That's something I need to work on because a lot of times my voice, I just come across intense. Okay, I just come across wired and intense all the time. So sometimes I just need to tone it down and I just need to talk more softly and more kindly and in just a tone of voice like this that can be more palatable for some of the personalities that like things just a little softer. They don't like to be berated with my Ruby, hardcore, 100%, all the time vibe and voice, okay? Oh, gosh. Yeah, so you guys get it. All right, so adjust your voice for the situation, okay? All right, so next is facial expression and the habit of smiling. Okay, this one is good, baby. All right, so if you haven't, when I was a kid, my dad had me read all kinds of personal development books, okay? And I love that about my dad, that he got me started on my personal development journey as a young kid. I mean, I was probably 10 years old, and I was reading like personal development books. I read a book called The Magic of Thinking Big, which is a great book. Read it multiple times since. A book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you read that book. Hey, I see Megan joined us. I see Mike joined us. What's up, Mike? Thanks for getting on. I see Kylie joined us. Man, all you guys, I appreciate y'all logging on and watching. I'm just recording my podcast here. You guys get first look at it on Instagram, but this will be posted on my YouTube channel at Larry Holsey. Please go subscribe there. And then we'll also be having it up on, everywhere you get your podcast. So, let's see. Okay. So facial expression and the habit of smiling. So this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, would be a great read for any of you guys. Okay. Great, great, great book on all the ways to win friends and influence others. One of the things he said is smile. A simple smile can attract so many people to you, because when somebody sees you and they smile, what does that say? What does a smile say? A smile says, hey, I accept you. I like you. I'm happy to see you. Okay, it says those things. What does a frown say? A frown says, who are you? What? I reject you. I do not like you. Why are you here? That's what a frown says. So I live in a very nice area of the country. We live in Texas. Okay, so a lot of people are nice. So a lot of people are around smiling. And when you go to some other areas, maybe not as much. Okay. So be different in your area and everywhere you go. Go there with a smile. Go there ready to brighten other people's day with your smile, and just let it rip. Okay, put yourself out there, smile at people, say hello. Really important. Okay, so your smile, Napoleon, going back to what Napoleon says here, your smile will change the mental attitude of those with whom you come into contact. Okay? So these are what one might call the big three. So these are the big three of the traits of an attractive personality. Here they are, the big three. These are the three things you want to focus on, okay? Number one, the smile. Big, big, big deal. Number two, the facial expression, okay? So number three, the tone of voice. So if you have an angry countenance and an anger in your voice, that's going to communicate things, right? So just your smile, your facial expression, your tone of voice are the big three, okay? Cultivate those, and you also want to always keep them under your control. All right, so next point, next factor for a pleasing personality is tolerance, okay? So tolerance consists of an open mind on all subjects toward all people at all times, okay? So my glasses are crooked. I'm like, what are they doing? Are they crooked? If I go this way? Okay, cool. All right, I'm just looking at my screen here, and I'm like, man, that's weird. I don't know if I've been... Oh, now they're more crooked. Look at that. All right. Okay, back to business here. ADD was kicking in. Okay, so tolerance. All right. So the intolerant person has fixed opinions on almost every subject. Okay? He makes his own rules of personal conduct to suit his personal likes and dislikes. Intolerance limits an individual's privileges of appropriating and using the knowledge and experience of others. It prohibits accuracy in thinking and reasoning. It discourages the development of the faculty of imagination. And it stops the growth of the mind by limiting the search for knowledge, period. Okay. So you want to be tolerant, okay? That doesn't mean you have to go along with things you don't believe in, okay? So if you are a Christian and people are doing things that you are firmly against, you can be tolerant of the person. You can love the person without engaging in the behavior that you're not approving of, okay? Or that doesn't fit your faith, all right? It doesn't mean you have to go along with everything to be tolerant. It just means be tolerant of the person, because people come from all different kinds of backgrounds. And man, we need more love in the world. We need more people to get along. And I can get along with just about anybody, okay? I can get along with just about anybody and find areas of agreement, and I can get along. And you just look for an area of agreement and just be human and be nice, okay? Be nice to people. Now, I do have very strong beliefs that I'm not willing to budge on. And let's say with tolerance, now if you mess with my kids or other people's kids and you're bringing some evil ideology to those kids, I ain't going to be tolerant of you then, okay? There is a point where tolerance is like, bro, step off the kids, okay? Don't be bringing your nasty, weird ideologies, your weird fetishes, your weird stuff that you're in. You like, whatever. Don't be bringing that against the kids, or that's where we ain't gonna jive, okay? We're not gonna be looking for an area of agreement, because this area of agreement is just simply too big, okay? So, all right. So, next is a keen sense of humor, okay? So a keen sense of humor. It keeps one from taking himself and life too seriously. So just be willing to laugh at yourself. Be willing to laugh with others. Laugh at yourself. All of us do kind of, silly things sometimes, and be willing to laugh at those. All right. So next factor is faith. And the way he puts it is faith in infinite intelligence, which would be Napoleon Hill's word for God, infinite intelligence. So faith in infinite intelligence. So if you have faith in, I'll call it God, faith in God inspires faith in other things as well. It's the master gate through which one may give his brain free access to the great universal power of thought, which operates through the brain. Okay? So, all right. So next is a keen sense of justice. And justice, as the term is used here, has reference to intentional honesty, meaning that you want to be honest and true in everything you do. You don't want to look to deceive. You don't want it to look to deceive, especially for personal gain. You don't want to be looking to rip people off. Just be, like your mom taught you. Be honest. Don't tell lies. Tell the truth. Doesn't mean you need to, tell people if you don't like their nose. You don't have to be overly honest, but, you guys know what I'm saying. All right, so next, appropriateness of words. Okay, so the ability to, and I'll just read what he said here, the ability to enunciate clearly and to use words which are most appropriate for the convenience of any desired thought is a great asset to anyone. Okay, so being able to speak is attractive. Okay, being able to share your thoughts, communicate a message, it's an attractive quality. If you can't do that, it's going to be hard to attract. It's unattractive if you can't talk. All right, so next would be effective speech. A person who cannot stand on his feet and speak with force and conviction without fear or embarrassment on any subject of his choice is under a great handicap as far as his personality is concerned. Okay, there it is. That's good. All right. Hey, good to see Michael Faulkner just joined us. How's it going, Michael? Thanks for joining. And also Sang Nguyen, thanks for getting on. Jennifer Holt, good to see you. So, all right. So, here we go. So next, okay. Oh, this is so good. I love this part. This is a big lesson, guys. This one. So having control of the emotions is extremely important to have a pleasing personality. Control, self-control, which is a fruit of the Holy Spirit. Self-control. If you have self-control, you can do anything. Okay? So I'm going to list the emotions that Napoleon Hill lists as emotions, and he lists them as positive and negative, and they whether they are positive or negative, they need to be under your control. Okay, they don't need to run rampant. Okay, so the first one, these are positive emotions. He lists love, sex, faith, hope and desire, loyalty, sympathy, and optimism. Those are the positive ones. Negative emotions: fear, hatred, anger, envy, greed, jealousy, revenge, irritability, superstition. Okay, those are on the negative side. So you want to make sure you have full control of your emotions, and you want to let more positive ones go than negative for sure. Okay. All right. So next would be alertness of interest. Okay. So an alert mind usually gets what it seeks, while indifference will force one to accept whatever life offers. So you want to have an alert mind. You want to know what you want. You want to know what you're going for. And when you're alert and you know what you want and what you're going for, that will attract what you want to you. Whereas if you're just indifferent, like, I don't care what happens to me. I don't care about making a lot of money. I don't want to wear myself out. I don't want to work too hard. That indifference will cause you to attract whatever life sends your way. Okay? And if you're waiting for whatever life sends your way, it's probably not going to be what you want. It's probably not going to be good. It's probably not going to work out well for you. Okay? You're probably just not going to get what you want. You got to be intentional and have definiteness of purpose. All right. So next is versatility. You want to be versatile in your thinking. Okay? And you want to be versatile in all the different types of people that you can interact with and that you can work with. Okay. All right. So next would be fondness for people. Okay. So fondness for people, or you like people. So here's what he says. Most people are quite discerning and recognize upon the slightest acquaintance individuals who like other people, and they are attracted to the person who naturally likes people just as definitely as they resent those who have a dislike for people. Okay, so if you genuinely dislike people, it's going to be hard for you to build any meaningful relationships. Okay. So next would be control for your temper. So A next factor of success is to have your temper under control. The man who lets his temper fly in all directions is sure to find it alighting where it will do him the greatest injury on the rebound. That's so true. Somebody with a bad temper, they just always tend to like have that with their boss or with their wife or with their something that's going to be just not good. Okay. All right. So, all right. Hope and ambition is another one. Hope and ambition. Hope and ambition give life and fire to a person. No one cares for a person who shows clearly by his lack of deeds that he has abandoned his hope of moving ahead in the world. Oh my gosh. Like if you got somebody with no dreams and no goals and not going for anything, people don't even want to be around them. Okay. They're going to be lonely. They got no fire. They got nothing to attract people to them because they don't have any hope or ambition. Okay. All right. Temperance. All right. So temperance is the next factor. Temperance, and you want to have temperance in all things and overindulgence in none. This should be the motto of every person seeking to develop an attractive personality. So if you tend to have a personality that goes all overboard in one thing, you just might want to think about that. Just keep some temperance, keep balanced. Okay. All right. So next is patience. Patience is a calm and an uncomplaining endurance under pain or provocation of pain. It is quiet perseverance. Ooh, patience. Man, patience is so important. First of all, I'm very impatient. But I also am willing to delay gratification. Okay. And I think that's a successful habit is the willingness to delay gratification to the future. So knowing that I will pay the price. I'll pay the price. I'll do the work now. I will be diligent. I'll have a great attitude. I'll go through hard things. I will be willing to do all those things with the patience, knowing that in the future, it's going to pay off. Okay. And one of my mentors told me, you should tell me all the time, look, you can play now and pay later, or you can pay now and play later. And I don't know about you guys, but I like always saving the best for last. So I wanted to pay now and play later. And so early on in my business career, I paid the price. I worked my butt off. Okay, I started my own business at age 18. I worked very hard, very diligently until the age of 23. And by the age of 23, I had a very, very successful business that was supporting me and my new wife, Heather, at that time. We had just got married, and it was worth it. It was worth it to pay the price early. Okay, if you don't want to jack around forever. When you have an opportunity, if you guys are like, for example, in business with me, take advantage. Take advantage now. Do the work now. Okay, because if your legs are fresh, if you got everything going good in your life, your marriage is good, your health is good, your kids are good, things are good, that's the time to put the pedal to the metal and work like crazy to build your financial future. Because at some point in your life, things may not be good. Okay, you're going to have a problem somewhere, whether that's in your family or in your health or in your in the economy or I don't know what. You're going to have problems hit you. And if you have not prepared when things are good, then you kind of deserve what you got when things are bad because you did not prepare. And so you can make it much easier on yourself by doing the hard work when things are good. And just like in the story of the Bible, in where Joseph went to Pharaoh and he had the dream about the seven stalks of corn that were like really not, they were really skinny and not any good. And then or maybe it was wheat. Anyway, it was something. And I know they did it with cows too. 7 skinny cows, they had the 7 fat cows. So, what you want to do is when things are good, you want to be smart and you want to work hard and you want to focus and make sure you take advantage and you want to build your protection for the future when things are more lean. Okay. So now's one of those times in our businesses, we got a lot of momentum, a lot of crazy, awesome things happening. So if you guys are in business with me, definitely you need to be working hard right now because now get it while the getting's good. Okay. And then, then you'll be prepared for the future. Okay. So, all right, next is humility of the heart, okay? Humility of the heart. So Humility of the heart is the outgrowth of understanding of man's relationship to his creator, plus the recognition that material blessings of life are gifts from the creator for the common good of all mankind. Wow, dude, be humble, okay? So be humble. I mean, what else can you say? Just remember that you're not all that, okay? So whenever you score like crazy, like we've scored like crazy. We have scored like crazy. Thank God we have scored like crazy. But I know that it's because the Lord gives me the ability to gain wealth, okay? God gives me the ability to gain wealth, okay? He's put the ability to gain wealth in these hands. But it's not because of these hands, it's because of God's blessing on the work of these hands. And you always want to remember that. We always talk to our kids about being humble. They have favor. They have favor in this world, but remember that God gave you the favor. You didn't develop the favor on your own, okay? You just always remember and have that humility, okay? All right, so next, appropriateness of dress, okay? So dressing appropriately, okay? He says here, it may not be true that clothes make the man, but they go a long way toward giving him a favorable introduction. So yeah, the way you present yourself, the way you dress, dress nice. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you perform good, okay? And as Deion Sanders, Coach Prime says, he says, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good. And that's true, okay? To an extent, right? All right, so next, this also reminds me of Coach Prime. I love him, okay? I'm not a big college football fan. I didn't really go to college. I went like one semester. I failed 3 classes, so I quit. So I don't have like a big college team, or I don't really care. The only thing I care about is the Dallas Cowboys. And so that's the only sport that I really watch. That's all I watch. On occasion, I might watch something else, but it's very, very rare. It's Dallas Cowboys football. That's it. I only got that one spot in my heart for the Dallas Cowboys, and no other team will fit in there, and no other sport. Okay, so. But I have been watching Colorado because of Coach Prime. I just love winners. I just love watching winners. Okay. And so I'm kind of a fan of Colorado this year because I'm loving what Deion Sanders is doing with that program and who he is and what he's doing. So this next point is effective showmanship. And what better person could you have than Coach Prime or Deion Sanders to talk about effective showmanship, okay? So effective showmanship consists of many traits such as facial expression, control of the tone of voice, mastery of the emotions, courtesy, effective speech, versatility, a positive mental attitude, a keen sense of humor, alertness of interest in other people, and tactfulness. Bro, that's really the whole thing right there. Like that just kind of puts it all out there. All right. So next would be clean sportsmanship. Okay. Clean sportsmanship. All right. Next, ability to shake hands properly. Okay. So this is pretty big deal. The proper handshake conveys animation, enthusiasm, and a spirit of sincere fellowship. Now, have you ever shaken hands with some like cold, emotionless, like limp handshake? Ew. That's just gross. And maybe people don't always just handshake. Maybe some of you younger guys, maybe you're like high-fiving or doing some, seriously like, bro handshake, bro hug thing or whatever you're doing. That's fine too. Something with emotion, something with some passion to it, some excitement. So whether it's a normal, traditional handshake, good, firm, nice handshake, a high five or a five or a bro hug, whatever you're going to be doing that's like a let it show some emotion, okay? So don't just give some cold, emotionless, indifferent personality version of a handshake, okay? All right, so next point is personal magnetism, okay? So that would be a way that you have just energy that magnetizes people into you. Can you do that by all of these things? All right, so let's see here. I'm going to summarize, and we'll be done for today. Okay, so we're going to summarize on common habits which destroy attractiveness of personality. Okay? So let's talk about those. All right, so common habits which destroy attractiveness of personality. So these are the things you want to stay away from. So breaking in when others are speaking, selfishness expressed in words or thoughts, sarcasm, insinuations, and slander, exaggeration due to uncontrolled imagination, indifference toward others and their interests, slovenliness in posture of the body, like bent over, looking like a slob, stand up, sit up tall, sit up straight, stand tall, stand up like you have some self-respect, okay? Insincerity, generally expressed through some sort of flattery. So just some bullcrap compliments that are just totally not even you're just totally just saying it and don't even feel it. You can always find something to appreciate about other people, but are you giving that from a truer place of appreciation, or is it just some, just some flattery? Okay. Finding fault with individuals. Yes. Don't be a fault finder. Be a good finder. Belittling those of superior ability, personal attainments, or education. Okay. Some people, they are maybe threatened by someone else's success or skill in some area, and so they will belittle them to try to make themselves look better. Bro, don't do that. Okay? Willful provocation. Okay, so provoking people to anger on purpose. Okay? Intolerance, profanity in all of its forms, obvious desire for something for nothing. Okay? Expressed or implied contempt for the Creator. Okay? Expressed or implied contempt for the Creator. Indifference expressed by the absence of a definite major purpose in life. Yes. Oh, gosh. Have that definite major purpose. Okay? All right. So next, the major qualities of a positive mental attitude. The habit of harmony within oneself. Sound physical health. Mastery of worries. The habit of looking for good in others. Control of one's dominating thoughts. Control of the tongue. The habit of smiling when speaking. The habit of controlling the emotions, and the habit of going the extra mile. Those are major qualities of a positive mental attitude. Okay, and some of the benefits of all these things we just talked about, some of the benefits of those in your life are going to be, it's going to prepare the way for mastermind alliances. Okay, it's going to ensure the maintenance of a positive mental attitude. It's going to qualify you with the most important fundamental of leadership. It's going to establish harmony in your own mind. It's an essential asset for the accumulation of material riches. It's a builder of self-reliance. It helps convert defeat into victory. It increases the space we may occupy in the hearts of others and discourages friction in all human relationships. Okay, so listen, that was developing a pleasing personality. That was a mouthful, and I hope you got some value out of it. Please, again, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's at Larry Holsey. You guys are going to love it because here soon I'm going to have Heather on, and we'll be doing a few of these together, my wife Heather, and we'll be talking about some great things, and I look forward to having her on here with me, and you guys will just love her as well. So it is the Larry Holsey podcast, and then sometimes it's the Larry and Heather Holsey podcast. But anyway, you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.